So welcome everyone to the Zones 33-34 Public Image webinar on Mastering LinkedIn. We have a really great lineup of speakers tonight, and it's going to be a phenomenal program. I have a few housekeeping items to run through really quickly before we get started. First, just please try to stay on mute for the entire presentation. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box. We're going to hold a Q&A session towards the end of this evening's webinar. We will answer them via chat if it's possible, but if it's a question we could field during the Q&A for our experts, we'll certainly try to get to it at that point. Remember, this webinar is being recorded, and it will go out to everyone who registered with a link to the recording tomorrow, so you can view that. And please share it with your clubs, share it with other members of your district, and encourage them to check it out. It's on our Vimeo and YouTube channel, so you can reference it at any time, accessible through elevaterotary.org, as all of our webinars are hosted there. We have a lot of really great events coming up in the next couple of months, and I want to make sure you're all aware of them. If you attended the January Public Image webinar on AI, Marshall Butler and Sean Patty did a phenomenal job. It was so much fun learning about how to use ChatGPT and Canva Magic Write and other AI tools. We had such a great response and so many questions that we decided to host a workshop, and that's going to be held next week. It's going to be on Wednesday the 6th at 6 p.m. And you can find a link this evening at elevaterotary.org. You don't have to register, just click the link to join the meeting next week. And we're going to do a deeper dive into some of those processes and talk a little bit more about using those AI tools. If you've been practicing with some of those tools, it's a great time to join and maybe field some questions or any challenges you might be facing to our experts, and they can respond to some of the questions and assist you to help boost your skills in that regard. On Tuesday, March 26th at 6 p.m., we have our next public image webinar. Assistant RPIC, Caroline Blocklinger, is going to lead this webinar on website success secrets. So you'll learn how to really elevate your website, share your Rotary story using your online storefront, and learn a lot of tips and tricks in enhancing your club website. So check that out, March 26th. You can register after this webinar tonight at elevaterotary.org. And then on Tuesday, April 23rd, that's our Public Image Bootcamp. And this is a really, really important session for all club and district public image chairs to attend. However, we want any Rotarians and Rotaractors to participate. It's great for the leaders and the PI chairs, but it's really good information for any Rotarian to have. We're going to talk a lot about some success tips to help you have a really impactful year this next Rotary year. So join our boot camp on April 23rd at 6 p.m. Mark your calendar for that. And then the only other two dates I have on the calendar at this point are the two district team trainings. So if you're a district leader, make sure you have these dates on your calendar. If you're in Zone 33, the district team training is going to be held in Virginia Crossings on April 11th through 13th. And if you're a district leader in Zone 34, the district team training is held on June 22nd and 23rd in Jacksonville. And there's information and registration for both of those events on DACDB. And if you have any questions or trouble finding the information, just let Billy or I know, and we'd be happy to direct you. And now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speakers for this evening, Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinators, Taylor Alphen, Dawn Rochelle, and Amanda Groover. Take it away, ladies.
Hey guys, good evening. We are really excited to bring you this webinar on LinkedIn, and I'm going to start the presentation here in a second, but I wanted to say that this topic was something that we got a lot of requests for during the December feedback task. So if you sent us a suggestion to host a webinar on LinkedIn, well, tonight's your lucky night because we listened to you. So I am going to share my screen. And we will get started. So I'm fortunate enough tonight to work with Taylor and Dawn on putting this presentation together. All three of us are very familiar with LinkedIn at both the personal and club levels and use it in a lot of our both professional and Rotary work. And so we're going to talk a little bit tonight about how you can use LinkedIn, particularly to value your members. In public image, we talk a lot about how public image is a foundation for membership. And LinkedIn is a really, really good way for you guys to value your members and understand that your members are definitely people that you can, your members are definitely people that you can use LinkedIn to help build better relationships for. And so I want you, as we start this presentation tonight, to think about the fact that LinkedIn is really good for member retention because you can repost and comment on your members' posts. You can celebrate new members or existing member successes when you see their post out there, and you can share members with your network. And so at the end of the day, you need to use LinkedIn. You have to use LinkedIn by knowing who your members are and knowing that they're on LinkedIn. It's also a way for you to expand your Rotary brand because you can show support to local schools, public agencies, chambers. It's a really good way for you to reach out and invite members that are active in your community who may not be Rotarians, and you can tag community sponsors and nonprofit partners. And so when you use LinkedIn to build your club and build your members up, then it gives you an opportunity to expand your reach for potential new members. And so we're going to start today by talking about how you build a club page or a district page if you're a district public image chair, and how you could use that for your club's social media, kind of like Facebook, but with a whole different audience. So I'm going to turn it over to Taylor.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. So a few things first, as we are considering even creating a LinkedIn page, really want to make sure that all of our club information is accurate. That's like your club website, your club address, all of that information, because when you enter in information into LinkedIn to create your new page, you're going to have to enter all of that in, and it's going to route individuals to that at the end of the day. And so really want to make sure that that information is up to date. And then two, want to make sure that you're aligned on your objective and purpose as you're creating this LinkedIn. LinkedIn is often utilized as a professional networking platform. I know we'll get into connecting with members and other community partners as we go throughout the presentation, but really want to make sure that the content is aligned to that. And then two, want to know who will be managing the LinkedIn page, as we want to make sure that one, your public image chairs have the bandwidth to do this. Maybe it's multiple people. Maybe one person is managing LinkedIn and another person is managing another social media platform for you all. And so just some things to think about before you go and start a LinkedIn page and then don't have necessarily someone to manage the page or don't necessarily have the content to support it there. You can go forward a slide. And so something that I personally did, because my club did not have a page, is that I went through this step by step with you all, and I actually created one. I am a member of the Club of Ending Child Abuse in District 7730. And so you will start out by creating a LinkedIn page. I want to call this out specifically because whenever I was going through initially the different clubs and districts and pages from around the world, some clubs and or districts had created a whole new person versus creating a page. And so you want to make sure that you're creating a LinkedIn page. If you've already created it as a person, don't fret. But if you're starting from scratch, we want you to start out here, and you're actually going to click on what is called a company, and you're going to create a company page. From there, it'll take you to this next slide, and you'll start to enter in your information. I know that this is a lot on one slide, but you're going to want to make sure you add in your organization name. So Rotary Club of or District blank. And below, it'll auto-populate what that search string is going to look like on your URL. From there, again, making sure that that information is up to date. I pulled straight, our district uses DACDB. I pulled straight from DACDB our club website and information. And then you're going to enter in nonprofit organization, how many individuals your club has. Ours is right around 20, so we fit in that 11 to 50 employee slot, if you will. Organization type, clicked nonprofit again. And then for logo, this is where you're going to pull from the Rotary Brand Center, making sure that you're in brand guidelines, and upload that logo file. It includes right beneath select file the actual pixels that you need for the logo. Make sure that you're checking that. And then adding in your club's tagline. Our club is a purpose-driven club. We are an e-club. And so I added in there Global E-Rotary Club to join together to focus on the cause of ending child abuse. From there, once you enter in that information, you're going to add in a little bit more. You're going to add in more of a description. And so this is where I personally entered in our club's mission, vision, purpose, some of our different efforts that we have, and then adding in location. I know that this can be a tricky one, especially for virtual clubs, more so than clubs that have a set meeting location in a specific town, in a specific state, in a specific country. But ours is global. And so that is something that if you have an idea on that, please reach out to me so we can figure it out. But I just put it where our club's home address is, that's registered and that we get mail to, essentially. And then something that's really important here is managing access. So of course, the individual who creates the page needs to have a LinkedIn, and that individual will have managing access themselves. And then what you'll do to add other members, because this is going to be really important for inviting your connection. And so you'll click on settings right here, and then advance the slide just for one. There you go. And then it'll come up with a search bar, and you're going to click on manage admins. From there, one more, awesome. Then you're going to click on add admin. So you're going to give yourself an additional admin access. To my understanding, there isn't necessarily a limit for it, but yeah, you can go ahead and advance one more. That's perfect. I used our club president as an example here as I was giving him access to our page. There are different levels of access, right? Which is great. And LinkedIn will give you, if you click on the assign an admin role, the question mark, whenever it does pop up, it'll give you a whole list and it'll go way into depth about what access means what, but at a really high level, super admin access, manages everything on the page. They can edit content. They can manage all the admins as well. Content admin is just someone who can post. And so if you want someone to be able to upload content to your page, manage the comments, what have you, you can give them content admin access. There's a curator role, and this is an individual who can post and view and export analytics. And then an analyst, this individual is able to only view and export analytics. So that's like how many views your post got, how many shares, kind of how much time was spent on the page, different things of that sort. And so this is going to be important as you're adding admins. You then get access to their networks. So if you advance the slide once more, as an admin, you are able to invite individuals to your page. This is going to be really important because you are able to invite with the just regular LinkedIn access. I don't have any special permissions. I don't have a recruiter seat or LinkedIn Lite or anything like that. You have 250 credits available per month, and that's across all of your admins. And so what that will do is it'll pull up your own LinkedIn connections, and you're able to invite different individuals, and you're able to select and then invite them, and it'll send individuals a notification to then accept and follow your page. This is one of the ways in which you can really be proactive about trying to grow your connections and followers on your club and or district page.
So once you get your club set up and you start inviting your members to your page, it's always a good idea to know who your members are on LinkedIn and to know other members. So I've used a couple of instances here on the screen to showcase how district pages and club pages have utilized their audiences to create posts. So one of the ways that you can value your members and do some member retention and value add for your members is if one of your members gets highlighted in the local community for, say, a chamber award, or they get recognized by their company in some way as a board member for a new nonprofit organization, you can share and compliment those club leaders on what they're doing in the community to be people of action and to show service above self. There's also ways to welcome new club presidents, or the feature that we like to use in my district a lot is we republish the newsletter. So our district newsletter, even though it's published on DACDB, we share the highlights through the newsletter feature, and I'm able to tag individual people within our district to kind of highlight the different ways that they're contributing to Rotary throughout the course of the month. You can also create club events. And the reason club events is a little bit different on the LinkedIn platform than creating an event on a Facebook page is because we're able to share and invite organizations. So in a lot of instances where we go out there and invite someone to a ceremony or a flag ceremony, I can directly connect with local media, with local law enforcement agencies, with local Corps Cadets and ROTC programs, and Boy Scout troops that may be very interested in this kind of flag retirement ceremony, for an example, and we can invite them directly and connect with their leadership to invite them, whereas they may not really see it on a Facebook page, and they may not see it when they're just scrolling through their general local news media, because maybe your media didn't pick up an event that you sent them a press release for. So there's some ways that you can really target in on the types of people you're trying to connect with for your events, your publications, and congratulate the people in your community. And I want to show a little bit about how we see a difference with using LinkedIn in that manner. So at the end of the day, in some of our areas, I would typically tell you that resharing something on a social media site is not going to get you as many followers. However, or posts or views or likes. However, I have seen recently where on LinkedIn, that is performing the exact opposite way. So when we go out and tag our members or tag our local community organizations and share posts, we're getting a lot more following through those posts and a lot more clicks than we see in just a straight publication that's up on LinkedIn. We also are seeing that when we do things like highlight Rotary clubs and print local Rotary leaders through what they're doing within the community that may have nothing to do with Rotary, all of a sudden we're getting a lot more brand exposure. We're getting a lot more comments, and we're getting a lot more feedback from the local community that puts together the fact that there's a Rotarian that's doing amazing things in their community, even if it doesn't have the Rotary brand on it. And so it's getting us a lot better traction, a lot better exposure, and growing our members and people that are following our page a lot better. Donna, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. We know that you can be anywhere and you chose to be here. So thank you for that, because this is really all about us. Every single one of us are the public image of Rotary, whether it is on any type of social media platform like we're talking here tonight. It's the chair that you sit in to get your hair done. It's the bank that you visit and people know you. Everywhere you go, you are Rotary. And so this is really about illustrating how you can use tools and tricks that are in your natural lane. For many of us, we create a LinkedIn profile simply because we were asked to because of the job that we hold. For some of us, it might have been something that you were asked to do because of a professional network that you were in, or perhaps it was something that was available in college for those of us that weren't around in the time that the internet was there when we graduated college. But I know now it's just part of the college curriculum that you have a LinkedIn profile. And so it really is a way for you to share even more about Rotary. So one of the things that I would share is we click to the next page and we start to look at how we can sort of illustrate and amp up our image on LinkedIn. One of the things that I have found that is most helpful is that you do everything that we've talked about here tonight on a desktop. It's really hard to maneuver some of these updates and creation pages on any type of handheld device. So we really do recommend that you're on some type of laptop or desktop setting. It makes it a little bit easier. So again, it starts with you. So we want to have an image that represents who you are. And so anytime that you can have a profile picture taken, and again, I've had LinkedIn profile pictures that are nothing but taken from an iPhone. So it doesn't have to be something that you go into the studio. The profile picture that you see here, many times when you attend professional conferences, they offer headshots. We took advantage of it. And so make sure that it is a profile picture that is welcoming. And as you can see in mine, I always wear my Rotary lapel pin. So Rotary is actually in my lapel pin and not just for this LinkedIn presentation. And so from there, once you get a really good engaging profile shot that represents who you are today, so you want to update it from time to time, then you really want to go to your background photo. And this background photo can be something that, like on mine, is something that is personal to me, and it's an inspirational quote. If you act or do nothing, you're shaping the world, and I choose action. If we go to the next slide, you'll see that one of our other clubs that have been highlighted here tonight chose to highlight a quote that is important to a professional setting that he is involved in. So this can be something that is really personal to you. It can be something that links your company. It can be something that links Rotary. In fact, one of the best background photos that I have found, I was sort of searching around as I was coming, putting things together for this presentation. Actually, past RI President Shaker Mehta has one of the best background photos for LinkedIn. A lot of Rotarians, because we are in the business of wanting to connect, always reach out to people. It's like, oh, I wish I could send them a message, or I wish I could connect with them in some way. Use this network. That's what we're here for. So always reach out, and an easy way, as we're creating here tonight, is to be able to identify with whatever somebody comes across your LinkedIn profile page that you are a Rotarian. So this next area is when you look at your headline. And so the headline is usually, as you've seen in the first two examples, and as we go to the third, is nothing but a name, right? Your name is important. You always want to be able to identify face and name. And if you have degrees after your names or specific designations, make sure that you put them there. For Rotarians in particular, how did we start? We started because of our vocation. And so it's a great way when we're able to put in the search toolbar, which I'll share in just a few minutes, and be able to put any type of profession that you're looking for in Rotarian. It's going to come up a little bit differently because you chose to identify with your profession just from your headline. So in the summary piece is really important real estate on a LinkedIn profile. There are 1 billion people on LinkedIn. And the reason why we're on LinkedIn, as we've already established, is because of our profession, our vocation, and we're there because we're looking to connect with others that are in the same profession, or we're looking to connect with others that might be in an entrepreneurial vein or have attended different universities that we've been a part of. Lots of different reasons people are on LinkedIn, but generally related to profession. So as we look here at our current Rotary International Director, Jeremy Hurst, as you see, he's chosen a headline or a background photo that is simply graphics, which makes his profile picture stand out even more. But you can see how in his summary under his name, how you very clearly understand that he's a Rotarian. And what I think that has been done particularly well in this summary is that he speaks very clearly about a current role that he has with Rotary as well. And of course, what does that do is it distinguishes not only his professional background, but also his leadership. So when we look at, okay, so we've got our profile picture, our background photo, our headline, and our summary. And again, best done on a laptop or a desktop. We now go to some of the optional features of LinkedIn, and I'm not going to be able to cover all of them this evening, but I do want to highlight some that are kind of important, I think, especially when we're looking at different roles and things that we hold. Anybody who's on this call, you spend time with Rotary. So it's really important that you highlight it as some of your volunteer experience. One of the things that I think sets us apart in Rotary are all of the skills that we earn. Quite frankly, I don't have a public image, a marketing. I do have a communications background from undergrad, but it was really through Rotary that I was able to elevate and understand things like an algorithm and how to market, and communication is what has helped to grow the profession and the organization that I lead. So I've spent a lot of time. This is a great opportunity to capture that in different roles that you have. So make sure that you highlight within your volunteer experience in organizations different ways that you have served in Rotary. What I will also add is, and if you go to my profile, which, and I'm sure Amanda and Taylor would say, and anybody on this call, please connect with us. One of the things that was really helpful, I served as a Rotary Club president in 2011-12, spend some time. But what I did at some point was I created a story and what I was most proud of with those accomplishments. It's kind of great to be able to go back to it now, because quite frankly, those are things that I need that refresher sometimes. I need to renew my spirit some days. And I go back and I was like, oh, that was really cool. That was where that started. The same when I served as governor. I have created a profile about accomplishments that I'm really proud of our district and what was able to be accomplished in that way. And you'll see now in the roles that I hold in different areas of Rotary. So make sure you capture that, because people are curious and they want to connect with people for different reasons. So make sure that you celebrate and honor those things. So again, I've mentioned the word connect. There's different ways that you can do this. If you attended any type of educational system, then there are alumni that you can connect with on LinkedIn. You might start this and say, I don't even know where to begin. Just put the high school, the college, the postgraduate work you've done, a training seminar that you might have attended. I guarantee you that there are people in that network. I actually have had, because I had Rotarian highlighted on my profile, I have actually had members to reach out to me and say, hey, you keep posting about this Rotary thing. Could I be a part of that? And I'm able to connect them as a result of that. So make sure that you are celebrating and recognizing not only your accomplishments, and you can do that also within the organization's piece, but you want to be able, just as was mentioned earlier by Amanda, if you have anybody who you know that has just won an award or has just started in a role as a public image chair or in any kind of role within Rotary, celebrate them. I think one of the things that the world has taught us is that being able to connect through a global network, and again, there's 1 billion people on LinkedIn, right? There's 1 billion different profiles. Membership shouldn't necessarily be a challenge, right? So there's tons of people, and they're looking for people with ethical leadership. They are strong in their vocation, and also people that are willing to give shout outs and to give recognition because of hard work that they've done. That's part of why I say Rotary is a protective factor for us all. So that concludes the presentation in terms of your personal profile. And we are all available to answer some questions now if you have questions about your personal profile, your club, or your district.
And I will say, if you're on this call and you do not follow the Rotary Zone 3334 LinkedIn page, now's a great time to do so, because a lot of these same tips and tricks we implement on our own zone page, and so you have an example of what you can follow. And if you're not following any of our social channels, by all means, do that. But we are definitely on LinkedIn, and we would love to have you start to collaborate with us on that platform. And so I am going to turn it back over, and we're going to open this up so that we can give some very specific answers if anybody has questions.
If you have questions, raise your hand and we'll see if we can find you in the group.
And I see Vicky's hand up.
Thank you, Dawn. Vicky?
I'm trying to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think the training that you went through just now would be a wonderful opportunity for us to get in front of our members and do a PowerPoint on how they can update their LinkedIn pages and do all the wonderful things that you discussed. And I didn't know if some of that information could be available to us, just that particular portion where we could do a training for our members on what you just highlighted.
Yes, and in fact, if I could answer, we are going to send out sort of a one-pager, if you will, specific to the information that I covered regarding your LinkedIn profile as it relates to Rotary. And then this presentation will also be shared.
Kevin, you have your hand up. Do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yes, thank you very much. This was a great presentation. I really appreciate everyone's input. Do we have any statistics as to how many of our districts within Zone 33 and 34 actually have active LinkedIn pages? And are there more effective ways for districts to utilize LinkedIn? I know this was primarily for clubs, but are there better ways to promote the use of LinkedIn for district administrators?
So I'll jump in and speak to that. We have on the Elevate Rotary webpage, we have a list of club pages that have been submitted, but we need to do a better job of generating district pages. There are districts out there that utilize LinkedIn pages to communicate. And I will say that all of the same tips and tricks that apply to club pages apply to district pages. The challenge with district pages, and I can speak firsthand from this, is that now for me to be the person that navigates and controls all of this stuff on a club page, well, I know my club members and I know my community. Well, now I have the challenge of not only knowing people in my own club at the district level, you need to now be able to kind of follow and know people all across your district. And so this is where the person who really engages on the LinkedIn page probably should be somebody who's active at your pets, who's active at your district assembly trainings, who goes to your RLI, and somebody that is consistently around and gets the opportunity to meet new club people and new club presidents, and is active with the club PI chairs within their district that can really help you kind of highlight, tag, promote, and showcase. Because Rotary, my Rotary LinkedIn district pages, we tag club pages, and the clubs tag the districts. You can use the tagging philosophy and the hashtag philosophy the same way that you would do that on any other social media platform. You just have to be able to know how to find those people, follow those people. A good example that I will use recently is sometimes you can find people out there that are high ranking leadership positions within Rotary, and they're not following their own clubs and districts because they're just not used to using this platform for Rotary. So I had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago where I got to literally invite someone's husband to say, hey, we just complimented your wife on this page. Would you be willing to follow our district's LinkedIn page? And he served at the Rotary International level. So he wasn't even aware, even though he's active on LinkedIn, that our district had a page. And so it's just a platform for us to reach out and make those invites and connect in that way. And what you're saying, we do need to do a better job of kind of finding the best districts and being able to use those better or showcase those better across our members.
Andre, you have your hand up? Oh,
Now, can you hear me?
no.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, question as far as a district, setting up a district page, do we set that as a personal page or a business page? Because I might have missed it at the beginning.
A business page here.
Yes.
I will send you the link because I
Excellent.
myself had to Google it. Whenever I was on my personal LinkedIn page, I was like, wait, where do I go? So
Well-
here, let me send this in the chat right now, and this should take you to that page where it said create a LinkedIn page, company, showcase page, and our educational institution.
Well, because I think I set up my club's page as a personal page. I think that might, okay. Well, this is very, very helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I could take one of the questions that was asked in the chat, which was about, you know, if I want to set up a club or district page, basically whose permission, right? And I think it's funny because, you know, I'll go looking for someone on LinkedIn and it's an old LinkedIn. And no one's updated it. No one's been around. So we don't want that same thing happening to our club and district pages. So I would say it's not just you setting it up, it's your club setting it up. And so making sure that your club board, your club leadership, and also thinking about even what email, right? Do you need a specific Gmail account or email account that will pass if your club doesn't have a club email, so that that club email can pass from person to person so that admin rights are really clear. The zone has worked really hard, and you see how many of us are on this call. The social media team is even larger than this. And so admin rights and having someone to make sure with succession, you know, life happens. And so you always, when you're creating public facing pieces for your club like this, you always want to think about what's the business of running that, just like you do for any business.
I will also say that if you are creating district pages, when I spoke to the fact that it's really hard for me to know every single person across my entire district and be able to follow them and compliment them and congratulate them and follow the local communities that we need to engage with, it's ideal if you could set up people that are admins on your team that live in different parts of your district so that you aren't responsible for knowing 2,500 people. And you can just rely on different people within different communities to be engaged and be able to post and share on your behalf and tag those local clubs.
And I will say, if you follow some, once you're active on LinkedIn, you will get opportunities. You can comment and blog. And every time you're doing that, the word Rotarian, if it's in your summary, will be posted, and you will see your engagement start to highlight. But I literally will have people that find me and say, so what is Rotary? I'll get an inbox message and always try to connect them. Taylor, any other challenges you had as you created a club page? I haven't asked you this.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Again, I think it's really important that you do this on a desktop or a laptop computer, because the mobile version and even the tablet version doesn't allow you to like upload a banner photo, for example. I had to do that on my laptop. But you can post and everything on the mobile version of LinkedIn and use it for all of its functionality, but setting it up in particular, it's really going to be important to do that. And then just to really be able to get it off the ground is getting admin access to your other club officers or whoever makes the most sense for your club and or your district.
And I will say, if you do not follow Amanda's district, which is 6910, right, Amanda? Amanda does an amazing job. So go follow Amanda.
I will show you guys one thing, and I'm gonna go back to live screen share on on our district's LinkedIn page, because there is one question I get asked a lot that we didn't cover tonight. And it's something really basic, but it's different for club PI chairs and district PI chairs because it's how you tag on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn does things a little bit differently than other channels. And so say I wanted to share a post tonight on our district page that says something along the lines of, check out all the great content available on the, and I'm going to go back one and make sure I'm spelling correctly. And two, I'm going to tag the zone. Okay. So Rotary, you have to put your actual spaces in here. So unlike the other ones where you don't space them out, you're actually going to space out when you go to tag something on LinkedIn, and that's how you will find it. And so I'm just going to put, check out all the great content available on Rotary Zones 3334's public image site. And then our district always hashtags everything with RD6910. And then you can either schedule your post directly later here, or you can just directly post it. And so now I've tagged both the zone and I have created the hashtags that if I'm searching for content from our district, it's available.
So Amanda, since you're so active, if I could ask you a question, what do you find is the benefit of LinkedIn versus other social media platforms?
The biggest benefit we have, and I've seen it more at the club level than anything, is that if I'm active on LinkedIn, I'm paying attention to my community. I see leaders in the community that are engaged in service or active in all of our avenues of service that may or may not be involved in civic organizations. And so it's a very easy way for me to connect with like-minded people that are good potential candidates for future members. I think that's probably the biggest value of LinkedIn, is that those are people that want to network, that are engaged in their communities, that are looking at ways of sharing and serving and being out there and doing things. And those are the kind of people that make really great people to pick up trash on Saturday mornings, right? They're the kind of people that aren't retired necessarily and don't want to be actively engaged in and I'm all for that retirement age where I get to spend time on the beach, but sometimes you need living people to help you with service projects. And so those are active, great targets for potential new members in your community. And it's a great way for you to connect with organizations that you can serve. So I have found multiple organizations doing projects that are this year, particularly with the mental health initiatives that Rotary International pushed out at the beginning of the year. It's very easy to go find organizations that matched our theme and gave us opportunities to get engaged through mental health. Yes, living people, Kevin, not dead ones. Sometimes I wonder if some of the people that are listed in our database are living or dead. But at the end of the day, that is the way that I've found the most success using LinkedIn.
Oh, I'm seeing we have Mitchell.
Would you guys recommend that on our individual pages that we put the current position we hold in our Rotary Club?
Yes. I would recommend that. I work in HR and recruiting. So whether you're looking to get a new opportunity or not, I think it's a great way to showcase your specific involvement within Rotary. I can share my screen and show you all what mine looks like.
Please.
Personally here. So let me share my screen. So this is an example of my personal LinkedIn, and you can see I have it separated out because our zone has a page. I'm able to link my volunteer experience specifically to the zone as an RPIC and as a Girls Empowerment Deputy Ambassador. And then underneath of this, I specifically outline my dates of service and what specifically I'm doing. And then for my own personal club, I include my current title as president-elect, and then I outline, my different roles that I've held thus far. And you can always edit it and change it. You can just click on the little pencil button at the top of the volunteering page. Let me go back. So you just click on this pencil and then you'll click it again for the specific ones that you want to include, and you can always change it up. So by the time that my president-elect year comes about, I'll change this and I'll put 2024 and then I'll put president 2024 to president.
Excuse my ignorance, but where do I go in to add my volunteer information?
Sure. So whenever you go to your personal profile, so you'll click on your little icon right up here at the top, you'll click on me, then click view profile, and then scroll down. Mine personally is below the about, my experience, my education, licenses and certification, and then mine is right there. I think for a lot of individuals, it's towards the bottom of the page. I know you can edit it to a certain extent, but it'll be right here. Do you see it?
Can you click on the pencil for the edit?
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it worth getting a link? Oh, we have another question that came in. Is it worth getting a premium LinkedIn account? What extras would be available? My personal / semi-professional opinion on this is that it's not necessary. Someone else jump in if you feel differently. It might allow you more invitations for connections, but $250 a month is a lot. And you're going to get that organic reach a little bit differently on LinkedIn than you necessarily do with other platforms. Amanda, please feel free to jump in and talk about that a little bit more, because I know we were just discussing it over this past weekend. But LinkedIn is a pretty expensive platform for premium and recruiter seats and such. I don't necessarily think that you have to have it to get the full functionality that you would need to for a club or a district page.
I completely agree with Taylor, and even professionally, I use LinkedIn in a lot of ways as a for me to connect with business development people in my industry, and I don't have a paid professional account either. I don't see the value in what I do with connecting with people, and so I think if you naturally are just active and connect on LinkedIn, you're going to already see those people without having to pay any extra additional resources. I'm always of the mindset that if the dollars that we have in Rotary can go to helping our community and not helping ourselves, that's where they should go. And I think that with this, that would not be a wise decision.
You can sometimes do a free trial if you want to just check it out, do the free trial and then cancel before it charges you.
And because of this seminar, I'm going to cancel my premium membership. So if anybody else is out there like me.
Amanda, there's a question in the chat from Chad. Can you see that?
I have, and I'm not going to speak to that because I have never used that app. So if there's anyone on our team that has used this app to increase club outreach on LinkedIn members for possible membership drive, then I'm willing, we're all ears to hear, but it's not something that I have used specifically for clubs or district outreach. But matter of fact, everything we've done at the club and district level has been 100% organic. So there's been no additional apps used, no additional resources used. I mean, we have go back to last month's webinar, and we've used AI to create LinkedIn posts that we publish and put out there. And we do a lot of meet our members kind of things to talk about amazing Rotarians and what they're doing. And I found some of that stuff on LinkedIn, but we haven't tried to do anything secondary. Nick Ramey put in the chat that he has LinkedIn Learning, and the professional part of that is good. There is some training opportunities and training resources on LinkedIn for multiple people a lot of them are free. And so if you want to learn some basic skill sets, that you have the opportunity to use their learning center as well. Mitchell, do you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. There are roughly 80 people on this call. Is there a way to get to, I don't know how to do it, how we would do it, but to spread the the list of members are all Rotarians, we should actually all be connecting on LinkedIn.
So a way to do that would be to take a picture of this screen right now.
Or the participant list.
And no, but to take a picture like that you attended, one of the benefits of Rotary is learning to up your LinkedIn game tonight.
Okay.
And then hashtag it or tag the Rotary Zone page, but hashtag Rotary Shares. And then if you look for that hashtag Rotary Shares, which is one that the zone uses, we should all be able to connect with each other. As an example, I'm sure others might have other suggestions.
If you have LinkedIn, I'm going to drop it in here again, but this is the zone, a link directly to our zone LinkedIn page. So click that right now, open up your chat and click it and follow our zone page. Several others have dropped their club pages in this chat, so you can go back through the chat and follow those. I think that's a really good way to build the connections. In addition to the individuals and the personal pages, connecting with other clubs through your club's page is a really good way to grow your reach, expand your reach. So I encourage you to do that. And then as you're doing it, engage with the post. And that's one thing that we really, really feel strongly about on our team, and we encourage clubs and districts to do with all of their social media channels, is don't let it become a zombie account. And you need to have a two-way communication, constant two-way communication. So make sure you have one or two people in your club or in your district that are continuing to monitor all of your social media channels. If you have messages or shares or likes or comments, have a two-way communication. Don't just let it be people that are communicating with you or trying to engage with you, but it's not reciprocated. Do we have any other questions? Well, we do have a few just things to wrap up with. So Billy, I'll let you go ahead and take the wheel and make some final announcements before we close tonight. And just remember, our webinar will be shared. It is recorded and it will be shared at elevaterotary.org.
Well, first of all, as Dawn said, you can be anywhere tonight. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Dawn, Taylor, and Amanda. We really appreciated all of your knowledge. I saw several people just going, whoa. District Governor-elect Kevin was wowed, I could tell. So thank you again very much. Don't forget that March 6th, we have the IA Artificial Intelligence Workshop. March 26th is when our next, Susan just put them in the chat, so look at the dates there. And if you're a district public image chair or a governor-elect or a governor and you would like to stay on the call, we're going to be talking about the citation and what you need to do to finish that up and what you need to do to start for next year. So thank you again for your time. Appreciate it.